We are still on Cares, well we just started with it, and Cares has got 4 types. First type is where you either got sin, cos or tan equal to a ratio, a number. Now there's nothing here to do, a 2 in front or divide by or something to get away. No ma'am, can I get away that 20? No you can't. Can I get away that 2? No you can't, because those 2 and that 20 is part of the angle. You can't say divide the angle by 2 and divide the ratio by 2. It's different things. First of all, you're going to get your ratio back to the angle, and the angle is 2x minus 20. But you're not going to get that angle. You're always going to call it your reference angle. It refers you back to the first quadrant, even if that's not one of your answers. We're in the cos graph, so we want to know in the cos graph, when I sketch it, just to put your work back on track, where is it equal to 0, 9? So that'll happen again, and again, and again, and again, and again. Right, so what's the reference angle, please? What do we put into our calculator? Shift cos of 0, 9 is?
25,84.
Thank you. So that's my reference angle. This would have been this one here, because it is equal to positive. If it was negative 0, 9, what do? You don't use the negative because you want the reference angle in quadrant number 1. Now we make a choice about the quadrants. Cos is positive in the first and fourth quadrants. You need to know your cos off by heart. So then I've got quadrant 1 and quadrant 4 to write down my answer. You see like a little pattern going here? Reference angle. Get the quadrants. Write the quadrants. Now we write, what did I write yesterday? The name of the angle is 2x minus 20. That you don't just write x. The whole name of the angle. Now when you're going to get the degrees, you can take away the 20 and divide by the 2. So it's going to be 2x minus 20 equal to, what do you write for quadrant 1? Just the 25,8. The actual angle, the reference angle is one of the answers. But in quadrant number 4 you write 360 minus the 25,84. How many answers have I got here? 2. When I go work it out, one answer. But I should have lots of answers. Remember the little dots. This dot will belong to that dot, and that dot, and that dot. But there are others. Cross, 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 cross. These are the dots. Those are the crosses going on until forever. How do I include all of them? From this one to that one and to the next dot is all the time? 360. But how many times? A lot. Where the k is an element of the integers, meaning for the first one you're going to say k is 0, because then your answer will just be the 25 whatever. For the second one your k will be 1, so you'll add 1. 362 times 364. For the rest it's going to be minus 1 and minus 2 and minus 3 times. Are you figuring this out? I'm not going to do it all the time. I hope you've got it now. While we say plus k times 360. So let's complete that. So on this side I can now solve for x. Please remember you've got to have the k times 360 there from the start. So when I start dividing, it must also be divided. So we've got 2x equal to, the 20 becomes a plus, so it's going to be 45,84. Help me here quickly. When I divide by 2, it's going to be
22.92
plus k times
180.
which has now changed it. And sometimes it'll be k times 22. Something strange, 16,5, it doesn't matter. That's actually, if you were sketching this thing, it would be the period. Think about it. Cos graph. What did this cos graph do? The girls were divided by 2 and moved 20 degrees to the negative right. Are you with me? If you had to sketch it. Okay, that's why if it's divided by 2, That's why your period is also divided by. So you see it all forming together. Same thing on this side. How big these? 2.
134,16.
Thank you. Sure.
This one.
And the next will be equal to?
117,08 plus K 180.
Okay, and now I've erased it and I'm going to get a mark lost here if I don't write. And there's my sum. We call this a what solution?
General solution.
A general solution. While I'm on it, another extra line, I'm going to go for the specific solution. So this is my general solution. But if I had asked you, if my x can only be between negative 180 and 270, whatever the examiner feels comfortable with, or this work, then I ask you, okay, the x can only be there, so it can't be up to negative infinity and positive infinity. How will I get to the answers? Then that x will be equal to, first of all, 22, 90, not 25, the reference angle. First answer would be if k is 0. The answer is 22,92. Are you with me? That would be an answer. And then I will add 180. 1 times 180, 2 times. So basically you're just going to take your calculator and say 22,92 plus 180 plus 180 plus 180 plus 180. But you've got to stop where they say you must stop. So let's see. If I add 180, how much do I get? Help me quickly with the calculator here. So you add 180. Okay, thank you. And another 180. Can I write it?
No.
The next one would have been 380 something, but I won't write it because it's not here where I belong. You boxed in here. I can only write that one. But to the other side, if it was negative 180, if k was negative 1, so minus 180 from 22,92.
157.
Oh, 8. And if you subtract another 180, do you see it on the graph? Subtract another 180. It's going to be too small. You realize what I'm doing here? Okay, now there was a problem originally a long time ago when the rainbow was still black and white. We used to always say this has to be in order. This one is smaller, must be before that one. No problem anymore. We don't do that anymore. But now I've only checked that part of the solution. Now I've got to go. Yeah, so you check it. You start with 22,92 plus 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 and minus 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 180. Those were the 3 answers that were in the range. Then we need to go to this one. So the first answer there would be?
The answer was wrong. No, they. On top. It's 354. 16.
And this one?
16.
Is it 16?
Yes.
177? 08, thank you. So the first answer will be? Are you with me? Just say that answer was 320, that one. Then that couldn't even be an answer, but then you take the 320 and you minus minus to get in the range. Are you with me? This is a general solution. This, plus 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 a lot of 180s and minus minus minus. Maybe this answer isn't even in the range that I'm giving you, but you still use that 177 to minus 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 until you get in the range, or plus 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 until you're in the range. Are you with me, everybody? How it works. You start with that one, make sure all of them are in the range, and it is. Plusing it with 180, it's going to be bigger than 270, do you agree? Minus 180. What? 177,08 minus 180. Is it 2,92?
Yes.
Yes.
Alright? And then if I subtract another 180 from it?
Negative 180.
182. It's too small. Are you with me, everybody, what we're doing? It takes too much time to do it that way every time. So lots of times the teacher, the examiner, doesn't go for this one. This is what we call a and you'll only do it when I ask you for it. So the sum could have started off and said, find x if x is between those two values. I won't even say the word general solution or specific solution. But if I say find x and then I state that x must be between those values, that says it's a specific solution. So always when you finish, just check up again. Must I write the general solution or did they actually give me an interval from where to where I can go? Are you with me? Otherwise, in general, the general solution is it goes on until 4. Even you've got lots of solutions. Specific solution, you can imagine, is a nice extra mark or 2. Not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 marks. Unfortunately. It'll be maybe like 2 marks. Nice thing about it is, if you have a wrong answer there and you didn't make too many mistakes, because remember, one mistake, carry on marking. Second mistake, stop. But if you only made one mistake there, then I can take your mistaken answer here, and then from there you have your answers according to that, then I can give you these marks. Because you did go according to the general solution and you did work it out correctly. You can still get those marks, okay? Okay, so when we start off, you only know type number 1 at the moment. Today I'm going to show you another one. It looks like type 1 because it's sin or cos or tan equal to a number. Well, not quite. I still got to get rid of that too. Can I get rid of that too?
Yeah.
This one? Yep. That one? That's part of the angle. That's the name of the angle when you get there. So first of all, we're going to say tan 2x is equal to, divide by 2 is? And don't round off. The golden rule everywhere in maths. You only round off in your final answer. Okay. Then we will get our reference angle, which is?
46,397.
Okay, 397. So 40, because you are told that you always take your angle and round it off to 2 decimals, because that's what they generally do, unless stated otherwise. Reference angle. Okay, now, they won't be that petty to deduct them off if there's no 0 there. So, okay, but let's be careful. Then we choose our quadrants. Tan is positive in the first and third. First and third. It's positive. Yesterday's example, it was negative second and third. Then we say in quadrant number 1, we will have our angles name 2x equal to just the 46,4 plus K180. You have a choice. I would like to force you into this choice because you're going to save some time. Because it's tan and only when it's tan. Between positivity, quadrant 1 and 3, there's always a difference of 180, 180, 180, 180. When I showed you the sketches, between the answers, there's always exactly 180. So you don't have to write both of them. And the normal thing to do is not write this one. But I can't penalize you if you want to write quadrant 3 and not quadrant 1. But then we will say plus k times 180. If you want to write both and write by one of both of them 360, it's fine. And even if you want to write both and write by both 180, that's fine. It's like saying x is 3 or x is 3. You're writing the same thing twice. So you're wasting a little bit of time. That's why I don't want you to do that. Only when it's tan. Then you can write 180 and only write one of the quadrants. Because you're going to get to all of those dot, dot, dot answers. And then I only need to divide by 2. Okay, so that means if I had sketched this graph, the period would have been 90. Think about it. Go sketch this graph for me. It's going to stretch a little bit. Okay, the tail is going to be stretched out a little bit with that boy times with 2 on the y-axis. But the girls are going to be divided by 2, so it shrinks. That's why the period shrinks. Do you see it coming together? And that was your answer for yesterday. But while we're busy with it, let's do a general solution. let's do a specific one. If I had said, solve x if you see, we just sit there and say, whatever, okay? So then my specific solution would be 23,2, yes, because it's one of the answers. And then plus or minus, doesn't matter what you want to do first. Plus with 90 gives me 113.2. And plus another 90.
203.
Plus another 90.
293.
Plus another 90. Too big. Don't forget to go less. So minus with 90. 23, you see we start with that angle and plus as many as you can. And now minus with 90 will give me?
Negative 66.8.
And if you minus another, it's too small. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 specific solutions if it's in that interval that has been specified for you. Are you with me on that? When do we do that? If ma'am asks you to. So if there's no specification there, it's always a general solution. This is now a specific solution for x. Alright, and it doesn't matter if it's not in order. And now you only have the one, so that you have to go and fill it in there. Right. Alright, I'd actually, if I had more time, I would like to do type 2 and type 3 together because they actually look a little bit the same. But we'll do type 3 tomorrow. So it's when I look at the sum, I'm going to still tell you what to do. Solve the angle, right. Why is this not type 1?
It's equal to a
Because
ratio.
it's not equal to a ratio. It's not sin theta equals 0,1 or 1,2 or whatever. You with me? So then it's going to be another one. So now as we go along afterwards, when we get to our actual exercises, when you put all of them together, you're going to check, is it that one? No, it's not that one, it's not that one. Type 2 and type 3 are quite the same. So when you have one sin ratio at the left and one sin ratio at the right, and can't I start off by putting them both on the left? Then you just take the one to the right. You with me? So basically you've got two terms. One is a sin and one is a cos. Whether they're both on the same side, you must separate them. The rule says it's got to be sin of the same angle equal to cos of the same angle. Then the rule is divide by cos. If you divide by cos, I'm doing it in purple so you can see what the original sum was. If you divide by cos, what's going to happen? Yes, it becomes tan. Excellent. 2 tan. This is the whole technique. You divide sin by cos and it's the same angle, it will become tan of the same angle. And on the other side you've got 1. So now, help me please, what's this? Type 1. Back to type 1. And that's the ball game. When you start off, there's two terms. One is a sin and one is a cos, but the angles are the same. Guess what's tomorrow? The angles will be different. Then there's another rule. Okay, so if the angles are the same, we divide by cos, which will make it tan, so that we can go on to our type number 1. Can we quickly do that? Let's see how we can do speed maths here. What do we do? Reference angle, please.
26,57.
Comma?
57.
7. Then we're going to say quadrants. Tan is positive. Aha. The moment I sketch it, I know, wait a second, it's that one, that's 180. I don't have to do the 1. Are you with me? So in quadrant 1, it's going to be the name of the angle.
It's 2.
Is theta. Right? And in quadrant 1, it's just going to be 26,57. If it was quadrant 2, 180 minus. Quadrant 3, 180 plus. Quadrant 4, 360 minus. And then plus k times what? 80. And that is it. Finished. General solution. If I did give you a specification, you would have it. So how many marks for this sum? 3, 4, roundabout. So the whole technique of dividing by cos and getting to tan, getting the reference angle, getting the general tip. Are you with me, everybody? Right, homework side, just one, so that we can get quicker tomorrow to type number 3. Do you see that it's this time? What is this time? There's a sin and a cos, and the angles. What is the angle?
X
Plus 10. It can be plus something, minus something, divide something, square something, but it must be the same. Then you're going to divide both sides by cos. And you're still going to again get tan, which is going to bring you back to type number 1. Always. Are you with me here?